right. Good afternoon, cyber traders. Welcome on back this Thursday, July 17th. Great to have all of our students and members back joining us inside our live trading room. Bill, Nabil, you got that actually rhymed. That was pretty interesting. I went from the chat board right to our private chat area. Bill, you got Nabil, you got Clay, you got Gillis, Jeff, Roberto, Fred, all of our students and members alike back inside our live trading room. Great to see Lynn and Randy as well. Russ, Gillis, Leda, and all of us just here otherwise. Welcome on back, Wendy included. So let's hop right into the thick of things there. And also back on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc. You got my buzzed head here now, right? I had to chop the hair off. It's getting pretty hot out here. Southwest Florida. I actually just stepped outside earlier today, maybe about like an hour ago, 30 minutes ago. It's like 115 degrees out, it feels like, out here in Southwest Florida. Crazy. So got to keep cool. But otherwise, down below at Cyber Trading You, just if you're not followed or subscribed, in tune or in line with our channels just yet, just hit that button right there and you'll be good to go. ABVE to begin, just this stock. It's back on our watch list here for right now and could be for the afternoon. I say it's back on our watch list because this trade one random day here back like July 10th, literally a week ago, I reckon, broke out, right? Made this big pop, cheap stock. It was breaking all-time lows. We had no affiliation with this thing. We're probably not going to have affiliation with it over time. It's just a day trade. But you know what? Hey, this stock clearly is trying to make a move right now and has made a move, across the morning. So if this wants to keep continuing to move up, then what do we focus on? Well, this is actually the closing price from Friday, from the end of last week, right here. This top line right around 363. So over time, ideally, that would need to be broken above. And, the better of a break that you have, or at least the flipping of that into a support, then there's a higher likelihood that you can possibly get up towards these prices. That is purely from like a chartist standpoint. I don't know the first thing about this company. I think that we posted some news on them the other week, but that's all we really know. Listen, this thing has a good pattern though here. Higher lows. You still want to see a breakout one more time here before the end of the day. I'll put this on our list though to begin. It just doesn't hurt for us to put this on our day trading watch list. This is not a swing trade really for us. So it's a good day trade. We'll keep it as such, right? Now, though, your bread was likely buttered, though, here on this Archer trade. If not Archer, then Jobby. If not Jobby, then at least at the open and more from yesterday, the RCAT. All of these EVTOL, air taxi, drone stocks, whatever you want to call them, they're going up, and I hope that you're in on them because that's the only way you make money on them, right? You got to be in it to win. So we called out RCAT yesterday. We were looking for a bounce off 1125 it was at some point. And this just was too strong. It pushed up even higher in pre-market this morning, popped even further at the open. I'm sure at some point I'm going to get my price. So I'm going to hold off on this RCAT trade as a swing trade. Wait to see support develop here, I think. But otherwise, though, the Jobby was a lot stronger. Ended up building back up going into the late morning, the early afternoon here. This I can put on our watch list. It doesn't hurt for us to put Jobby back on our list. The strongest one of these, though, it's the one I'm in at least, the Archer from yesterday. So RCAT was one, and then probably like an hour before that, this was just perfect timing in terms of the entry. Not the perfect price because first I actually wanted 1150 to be the better level. So I went break even on one trade, and then I missed it off 11. So, could have had an even lower price. But point being is that actually this was perfect timing from yesterday. If you jumped in with us here, myself, Bill, I think a few of us, Kevin, I know, is in on this trade from yesterday with me. Listen, this thing pushed up and only continued to break out going into the afternoon. So it's hard for us to ignore this trade. Most importantly, I'm going to put this on our list, and it's one of the healthier charts, as you know, just, nice at a higher lows, higher highs of recent. Jobby actually is just as strong. This actually is at all-time highs. So just for right now, I'll put the Archer on our list. I can see myself putting Jobby on our watch list again, too. What we'll do is just go right from top to bottom here, though, because there's a couple of names I'm not too fond of just yet. Not really too familiar with what the charts look like. I'm sure that we called them out, typed them in the chat board there to you, but we'll go through. So the VLCN trade, yeah, this thing's garbage, right? Had one freak pop here at the open, or I guess even at 9 o'clock, 8:57 in the morning, I guess this is. That was it. That's all she wrote. So just keep in mind, if you're a new member joining us, we're very specific when we tell you, oh, this could be a swing trade. So if we don't say those words, it's great to ask, but your first assumption, especially for these low float, small cap, like, garbage stocks, they're typically just flavor of the day and maybe even sometimes just flavor of the hour. ETNF, flavor of noontime. And then I guess now trying to make another move right now. Even this, though, it came just right back down as quickly as it did here the first attempt. So I don't like this pullback. I'll focus on other trades. Let it prove me wrong. BSLK, we'll keep going. I saw some news come out across the board. Some Trump stuff came out, the taxes. I know that Lucid had some big news that came out this morning with Uber and the robo taxis as well. Pardon me. The Lucid trade pretty flat though. So for the afternoon, not going to focus on it. Probably tomorrow I could see it dumping back down a little bit. We were calling out potential full retracement down towards 235, 240, just as a possibility, right? Just as a possibility. And actually, what this did really well, this is pretty impressive. Our next level of support was here from pre-market, and it just held over near flawlessly. And certainly even afterwards here it did. So it just hasn't broken higher. It hasn't reinvigorated that next up move. So don't get stuck waiting for that crap, right? Don't get stuck watching the grass grow on this. It already made its morning move. It possibly could be a good swing trade over time. We'll check in with it when we need to. So ZURA, that actually wasn't looking terrible. I want to see if there's anything looking better, though, like this D Pro stock. Yeah, I saw this yesterday. This thing popped up going into the close or the after hours it was here. So pretty good looking chart. Order book, not the worst. Could be better. It could be a lot worse. Got some resistance here at 725, which we'll just slap a line here for myself. Jump onto a coaching call at 3 o'clock with one of our diamond students. And if we jump into anything on top of what I'm in currently, obviously I'll type it in the chat, let you folks know here. But that 725 level looks to be resistance just looking at level 3 there, just on my matrix. All right, we keep it going. HYPR, is this no, it's Hyperfine, different company. Never mind, it's garbage. This is not garbage, though. PDYN, this is a beautiful chart from the morning. Even if it was flat going into this afternoon, I would have been like, okay, well, we'll come back to it tomorrow. It's a good stock on the swing side here. So it's an AI trade. Paladine AI. Listen, I got a speech impediment. So I'm going to put this on our watch list, the PDYN. Other AI stocks that might be moving. BBAI is having a good day today. Probably would have found that on the gainer side here at some point. What else we got? The Soon trade. We talked about this just in our chat board a moment ago. If you're with us here live inside our trading room, just scroll up. Obviously, it pays to do a little reading, scrolling up and seeing what your fellow traders and myself and Fausto, even Rich, are posting here in the chat. So just before I was saying, we were expecting this 1270 level to be resistance on the next test of it because it broke below it brutally as support. So if it's going to break below it as support on this candle, well, guess what's going to flip back into resistance, right? Simple as that. But this is a really strong historical price to watch going forward. That 1270 area, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, you can try this again as a swing trade. Just you had to have expected that was going to be resistance, though. All right, we'll keep it going, though, from here. See what else we got, though, on the gainer side. Spilling water everywhere right there. Let's see. Anything else looking good near the highs? MRKR is not near the highs. That was a Burj Khalifa pattern right there. That's just straight up, straight down. That's it. QS. Yeah, this has been very impressive. A lot more, a lot better and stronger than I thought it was going to be. Pessimism reigns supreme, especially when you're an experienced trader, because, you don't really see the greed and moves and, it's going to 5X instantly. So easy. But this stock got beat up for so long that's why you say, hey, it's probably better to be safe than sorry. If you take this as a swing trade, odds are you're getting out and leaving some money on the table. How many green bars in a row is this now? Because I don't think this is closing red today, right? I don't think this is closing red today. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11 green days in a row. That's nuts. I don't know if that's a record or something. Probably is for this trade. But yeah, QS, definitely going to put this on our list. Good trade, great swing trade, and potentially just a great day trade here for the close. Get up to 14 maybe. Scalp a few cents on the way up there. SRPT, I cannot believe this is – it's on the gainer side today, but if you want to take a look at the fall off here – yeah, take a look at this thing here. So I guess it tried to make a little recovery and fill a bit of a gap, but didn't really get too far. Yeah, this was just off the pop, going into the close yesterday, up, down. We'll come back to it if it wants to trend back up again. ABAT, I didn't even call that out, right? I don't think I even wrote that in the chat. I saw that on my scanner though. ASPI, I think this is like a nuclear type of play. It says isotope in it, so whatever. I'll just kind of slap it alongside the rest of the nuclear stocks. ASPI, what else do we have with the nuclears here? OKLO is up nearly 5%. That's actually a pretty good chart right now. SMR, not so much, you know. NNE's low volume, it's garbage. You know what? The OKLO, I don't mind putting this specifically on our watch list, and this not even as much as a day trade. It could be, but this is a great swing chart. So, mind you, obviously, this is where I tell you, like, this could be a potentially great swing trade over time. Just the chart speaks for itself. All right, let's see here. BBAI, great move today. Just might be a little slow across this afternoon. Keep this in mind for tomorrow, though. EVTL. Yeah, how about this? Is EVTL, is this 1 + 1 = 2, right? This is an air taxi stock, Vertical Aerospace, because the whole name of it is called EVTOL. Don't ask me what that fully stands for. I botched it in a video a couple weeks back, so I'm not going to try and botch it again. But, EVTL, this company, Vertical Aerospace, that's where you could do a little assuming, right? When you're wrong, that's where you look like an ass. But otherwise, EVTL is an EVTOL based company, air taxi. So I just didn't really notice that until today. I filled a nice gap here, and it's still not a great long-term chart. This is not a great long-term chart yet. If it wants to become one, though, then it'll need to break a higher high and then try and fill this gap over time up towards 920s. But, maybe. Possible. QBTS, I don't have this on our list yet. All right, well, goes right back on our watch list here. We called this out earlier. Great day trade, great swing trade, probably the best quantum stock that we got. Just right back towards all-time highs. How clean is this? This had resistance around this 11-ish area. We were calling this out going into the beginning of this year. Just took a few stabs at it, then broke above it. Most importantly, closed above it here on the weekly, and that's all she wrote. So hopefully the same could happen with like Jobby and Archer, the air taxi stocks there as well. Listen, you got different sectors. You got the AI, you got the quantum, you got the air taxi, you got the Bitcoin, right? But if they're trending well, if they have good iceberg orders, then they're worth at least taking a stab at or considering. So you just don't want to get too overwhelmed. That's all. The uranium's out there. How about that? We talked about the uranium stocks earlier here. Actually, I wrote this as well as a comment inside our trading room. One of our students was talking about the UEC trade. Actually, two of them, Laureen early and Tim just before. And I was just saying to Tim, CCJ is the strongest of the uranium stocks. Looking at the long-term graph, it's at all-time highs. UEC, though, is next. This is like pretty good. A very healthy long-term graph. This is almost about to break all-time highs. The one that needs a push that we're not sold on just yet, you got to go back on this year, right? I think, yeah, you got to go back on this trade here. the all about you stock that I like to call. Maybe it does pop over time, but just I'm talking about long term, talking about swing trading. Even this has a little peak here back from 2007, but there's a lot closer to that peak compared to the other one. So the UEC trade specifically, I'll kind of, weed that one out, put this on our watch list. The CCJ is just a bit more expensive. So, we already got a couple of expensive trades on our list. If you want to focus on this, go ahead. But we'll kind of be a little selective here at this point. And there's some good stocks that have direction, but do they have good volume? That's the key behind it. Listen, if we wanted to put every stock that looked like this on our watch list, we'd be at like a 75 stock watch list by the end of it all. Like literally number 89 is up 5%. That's crazy, right? So, I'm not going to go through every single one. We also have to hop over to the loser side here. We've already built up a solid list. So for Michael, for Kathleen, for Steve, Grant, Leda, any of our, more experienced traders joining us here, need to be more experienced with speaking. Let me know if there's anything that you'd want me to check out before we finish up. But I'll hop over to the loser side here first before I do so and see what we got. I mean, at least you want to focus on some shorts, right? Maybe a dead cat bounce if it's down enough. But otherwise, if it's near the lows, if it's easy to borrow, or if it's just, a more well-known company. I think Fausto shouted out ELV this morning on the way down at first. Just a little too expensive, obviously, but that was more of a side list morning call out that he had, just kind of going through the market. Wow, Oscar's down even more here today, huh? I thought this would have done a better job at least trying to build support. And this goes to show what happens when it doesn't, because we had some good resistance. It was like breaking back above, and it did hold it at first as support. It did. But the longer it fails to break higher highs, then you never know. I don't even know what happened here. I don't think this was earnings based, but some news perhaps just came out, maybe with the healthcare stocks altogether, but huge drop and no looking back. It's pretty unfortunate. So now at this point, looking at Oscar, if this wants to continue to hold this as resistance, I mean, geez, it's going to fall back into this consolidation, perhaps down as low as 13s, maybe even lower. You know, if it breaks below there, there's not much looking back. So it's not like a giant necessity for us to put this on our list. You know, quite honest with you here, but you know, if you are really itching for a short, Oscar could be that for you. I want something even faster. I want something already breaking support. You know, about a tank, and it's already breaking lower lows technically. So I don't really see that in Oscar just yet. There. That just about wraps it up for right now. All right, so folks, if there's anything else that you see inside our live trading room, is to be part of a team, right? So let me know if there's anything else that you see that looks good. Joyce on the XTIA. Yeah, I kind of like saw this for like half of a second on this chart, and I just moved away from it briefly. I was just skimming. The order book's all right. Just the only thing is, like, you might be like not wasting your time, but like you might be spending a lot of your time on this trade before the close. It's a stock that got beat up a lot. So maybe if there's news that comes out tomorrow, then it's going to make a much larger pop over time. Definitely like keep this on our like side list at the minimum, Joyce. There's probably gonna be a lot of trades I say like that about. But this is where, hey, this isn't even up 5%. This IREN, the Sam and Bill, Michael, I guess a lot of us, I guess, on IREN, right? A lot of us on the IREN trade, right? All right, so that does it alone. But either way, because we are very familiar with this stock, it is a good swing trade long term. We've been calling it out as such really since the end of May. I don't have a position on this, but this is just where I tell you I'm very straightforward. Like, I tell you, hey, I think there's good possibility on this stock. The thing with IREN that we liked was that it's not just some Bitcoin mining stock. I mean, most people know of this company because of that. But us here, we know that this is a nuclear related stock. Also, they're affiliated with AI data centers. So they've had a much sharper squeeze up over time. And yeah, I mean, nice move now. Good shout. You know, the XTIA, if that was moving a little bit faster, Joyce, I'd probably add that too. But the IREN, there could be more bang to the buck on this, even though it's more expensive in terms of comparing the two stocks. I mean, this is not an expensive stock, right? All right, folks, here we go. Last thing from Sam here. Yeah, EVTOL, electric vertical takeoff and landing. I already got enough of a speech impediment, and I got some dyslexia to back it up, so I'll probably botch that tomorrow, Sam. But otherwise, I appreciate you helping me out. Otherwise, all of us on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, etc. Let me know if there's anything else that you see. But ATNF, this thing's trying to pop back up right now. Did we put this on our list yet, or did we say we'd come back to this? Oh, we didn't put this on our list yet. All right, so this one I just kind of caught from Benzinga, but yeah, I mean, making a much better move now at this point. So PLL, nah, I'm not going to add that. D Pro, I think this one we already have on our list. No, we don't. Wow, did I not add this? That's weird. All right, maybe that was just a typo for me. All right, so folks, hey, I think that just about does it, because you don't want to build up too big of a watch list. And I think those last two kind of cap it off. So you got a good one here this afternoon, folks. So heading into the afternoon, this is where I'll just tell you, for Sam, for Mike, for Bill, for Fred, Kerry, you got Clay, you got Jeff here, Gillis, all of our students and members alike. I would just start and stick with this here watch list, whether it's Archer, whether it is PDYN, whether it is QS, IREN, UEC. Yeah, I think this is a really nice list. I appreciate that IREN shout at the end. Start and stick with something on this watch list, because I don't want you to waste your time. And I don't want you to spend more time on something than you should be. So this will give you a pretty good opportunity to catch a runner going into the close. I'll be on a coaching call with one of our students coming up in about 10 or so minutes. And then, Rich will be back on the mic, taking you folks into the afternoon. But if there's anything that he sees, he'll let you know. But definitely start and stick with this watch list here first. But otherwise, all of us on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc., wherever you may be residing on the socials here on this internet here. But otherwise, down below at Cyber Trading You, just hit that follow, that subscribe button down there, and look to join us coming up tomorrow morning in our next live stream. But otherwise, we'll talk to everybody coming up in just a moment.